Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
On our daily agenda today, we are discussing the issue of small and medium scale enterprises. Now, we all know that it's an election year, and being an election year, most businesses, it's a year of uncertainty for most businesses, being multinational businesses or small businesses. But the SMEs as well are also affected because you need to plan effectively on how to go about your business activities. Otherwise, being an election year and a year of uncertainty, you might end up losing. So to help us do that, I have with me a business analyst and a columnist from the Business and Financial Times newspaper in the person of Gabriel Ofori Yeboah to help us discuss and know how well and effectively small and medium scale enterprises can plan ahead of the election year. Welcome. Welcome, Gabriel. Yes. Can you tell us, we all know the impact, the level of impact that small and medium scale enterprises are contributing effectively to the economy. Now, can you tell us more about the level of impact that, as an analyst, you think that they are contributing to the economy?
You see, the contribution to the development of the private sector, okay, to the sustainable growth of our economy can never be underestimated, all right? Because when you look at even to the Western culture or to the in the countries like the UK or England, you can see that the sustainable growth of the economy basically depends on the engine growth of their SMEs. Even in Ghana here, statistically, we can infer that about 75% of our SMEs contribute to our GDP growth rate, okay, or our sustainable growth rate of this economy, in the likes of the creation of employment, the reduction of unemployment, the utilization of our resources here in Ghana, and the creation of entrepreneurship skills here in Ghana, the capacity building here, that they incorporate the employment of our own individuals here in Ghana. Aside that, the impactation, we can basically we can never talk about sustainable growth or economic sustainable growth of an economy without not attributing the fact of the engine of the growth of our small or our SMEs growth in that perspective of that particular economy.
Mm-hmm. Now, with many SMEs springing up over the years, especially most graduates coming out from the universities are being compelled to set up their own businesses, and some are doing well, but most of them, are not doing too well. What do you think contributes to that?
You see, basically, when you look at the failure, or I mean, the failure of some of these some of these SMEs or the small medium enterprises companies that we have in Ghana, is being attributed to three main factors. One, I mean, most of these SMEs are being run by an individual, okay? So they fail to have what we call the succession plan. Okay, what we mean by the succession plan
is it the same as the business plan?
The succession plan is not about the business plan, but the succession plan is inculcated in the business plan. Okay, so the succession plan basically talks about having a capable person or a requisite person to run the business when the ownership or when the shareholders or when the sole proprietor of the business is not there in the terms of like death or a demise. Let me give a right example.
No, but you're talking about succession. This is someone who's just started, something small. Okay, in the initial stage, you don't think about succession because you are not starting.
That is the problem.
You have very little capital to start the business with.
Thank you.
Okay, now bringing in someone as a successor will also imply that you have to extra money going into payment for salaries. For instance, okay, you go on.
Okay, for instance, you see, where you're talking about perspective, all right? You see, when you talk about a succession plan, somebody who believes in your objectives, who believes in your goals, who believes in your visions. Okay, let me give you a right example. Somewhere in American House, where I live, I have this very close friend of mine. He runs this MFI, okay, microfinance institution. About 2 weeks ago, I realized that the office space had been closed for like 2 weeks. all right? So I made further inquiries to ask why the company has been closed. And I realized that, I mean, to my utmost dismay, the owner, okay, or the
Travel or
CEO,
something.
he's not traveled. I mean, sorry to say, I mean, my condolences to the family. I mean, he passed on.
Was oh,
I mean, that's a sad news. Though he was a very close friend of mine. So I realized that no, so he passed on. So what happens to the business objectives, to the business goals, to the business visions of the organization? So I realized that no, all the business objectives or the business visions was inculcated in one man. So the succession, okay, or the deliverables, or how to pass on the business objective, or to share the same equal business objective with somebody else, or with a predecessor or someone else. I mean, understood someone took on of that particular organization, but the person didn't believe in the same organization. There was a conflict of interest within the shareholders and himself. So the business at the long day had to just collapse because there was a conflict of interest. His vision and his mission was in contract or was contradictive to the shareholders' objectives. So if you have somebody, you have, a very well structured a succession plan, or somebody, just say, if you are not there, somebody can take over. Somebody who shares your vision, somebody who shares your goals, okay, who understands your business objectives, who knows how to grow your business the way you want to grow it. Take into consideration all your KPIs, the key performance indicators, and everything into consideration. If you don't have such a plan in place, when you are gone, because, I mean, sorry to say, I mean, death or whatever, I mean, catastrophe that we have in this country or whatever in worldwide can never be predictable. It can happen at any time. So if you have a succession plan, that's what we call a succession plan in place. And secondly, I want to emphasize something
but before
about
you
the
get to your
political
second point, you know,
inclinations.
what I
Okay.
like to input is that most people set up, or most people managing some of these SMEs, you know, have issues with succession plan, you understand? Because first of all, it's difficult for them to sometimes find someone they can trust in
You
the
know
first
why?
place to handle their business for them as they will. Some people have tried it, you know, the issue of trust coming.
Thank you.
And what happens is that, you know, some people, those that they entrust the business to, end up mismanaging the business and even bringing the business down.
You see,
You see.
what
So most people in these small and medium scale enterprises are kind of reluctant to start with, you know, these succession plans and having people to succeed or to take over the business in case of some of these what you are talking about.
Yeah, you see, basically, not only in Ghana, when we talk about our neighboring countries like the Nigeria, this kind of trust issues has really become a predicament, or has really become a very big issue in terms of business or operation. Even fathers can't trust their own sons. Sons can't trust their own family people, all right? But in the sense of business incorporation, after the registration process, the tax identification and whatever those processes that you have, for me, what the basic advice I usually give to these SMEs, like, incorporate these people, or, I mean, groom somebody that you believe in. That person cannot be your family member. Somebody who shares your vision, who shares
Which
your
is
objectives.
difficult for most of them to find. That's the
It's not
main
difficult,
issue.
but people
It's
at the
difficult
beginning
practically.
stage-
If you are
practically-
to speak to most of these SMEs, those who manage some of these SMEs, they will tell you that.
You know what, I
those
bet
who
you-
have entrusted, there are a lot of, some succeed somehow, but those who have entrusted their business to people end up,
You know what?
having their business being collapsed.
I bet to differ this topic. I mean, this particular discussion today, in respect of the fact that, you know, before an entrepreneur or a business person incorporates his business, he's mostly thinking about the profit. I mean, I want to make the money. That is basically in the African culture the main perspective, irrespective of the
Every
advocation.
business is set up to make profit.
Thank
If
you.
you are in
So-
business not to make profit, then
Exactly.
you're
So-
not, are you an NGO or what? Yeah, the idea of any businessman is to make
Okay,
profit.
so with that perspective or with that mind, for instance, I'm an African man. Okay, I'm a Ghanaian. I want to make money. I want to make money, and when I make the money, I'm thinking about the things I want to get, and I can tell you for a fact, about 65% of SMEs out there are thinking about the profit exceeding for themselves. Okay, for instance, before they even incorporate their business, they're thinking about the profit maximization. Okay, forgetting about
But
the
it's not
product
just about
development.
profit maximization, but it's about reinvesting part of the profit into the business, you know, to grow the business.
Thank you. But the question here is the reinvesting that we are talking about comes with uncertainties, right?
Yes.
Comes with a certain level of risk.
And
Because
risks level, high level of risks. Yes.
so we cannot just say in the next year I'm going to make like 5,000 profit without not having a proper financial plan in place. Okay. What I want to really tell is 2 days ago I was at this seminar about investing in Africa, about these SMEs. So I spoke with a couple of them, and I realized that most of these SMEs are being run by individual. They believe in their own, they believe in themselves. They believe in their own perspective. Okay, so to bring another person on board to share the vision, to share the objectives, to share the goals of whatever they believe in, it becomes very difficult because they don't trust them. I don't know if
because they cannot, those people cannot be trusted in the first place.
So those people cannot be trusted. The question is why?
Because I know a couple of people who have set up their businesses and, you know, handed over to some or allow some other people to handle it for them, and the results bizarre.
Thank you very much. So the question is, how would they determine that this person can also proceed, or this person can take the affairs, or this person can develop the objective or the goals of my business? That is the question they should ask themselves. It's not about your son, it's not about your wife, it's not about the person close to you, it's not about to whom you know syndrome. All right, it's about somebody. The main problem here is somebody who believes, because for every business to be incorporated in the economy, you must have a solution.
No, so the question is, how would you be able to, as an entrepreneur, how will you be able to identify someone who believes in your business objectives, you know, so that the person can help you with your business?
For instance, you're running an IT business. You are like 75 years. You are going to retire. You need somebody to run your business. You bring somebody who has who is into how do you call it, like a marketing development. Though the person have an experience with some companies, you believe in him because the person is a close friend. You believe in him because the person is a close relation. Not taking into consideration about the skill, all right, about the perspective of how you started your business into consideration. But you are taking into consideration about it because of the relation you have with the person. So the person should come up, the person is your son, the person is your uncle, the person is your biggest family relative, so the person can run your business. You are wrong. Okay? So the basic thing is you should get somebody who believes in your objectives, for instance, who believes in your goals.
We'll talk about that, but my question is now is, how do you find such a person who believes in your objectives, your goals?
It's about interpersonal relationship. Before you get somebody on board to even what we call understand your succession plan, in the process of the interviewing of the person, I mean, forget about the personal relationship that you have with the person. Pose questions to the person. If the person have interest, okay, self-interest in developing, okay, your objectives, he understands your goals, he understands your he understands your KPIs, he understands your visions, okay, your set targets and your goals. Such a person can inherit your, I mean, can be your assistant, okay, your predecessor when you are no more there tomorrow.
You know, another issue is that, which makes a lot of people reluctant to bring in such people, is that most people are business-oriented these days, and a lot of people have intention of setting up their own businesses. Now, some will have the resources to do that, but they don't have the business ideas. You understand? So, for instance, you set up your business, and then you bring in someone on board to help you with it. What a person comes to do is just hover around and steal your business ideas. And then the next time you realize the person has set up a similar business and competing with you.
Yeah.
You see, and even some of them will go to the extent of being with you, knowing your clients, okay, and then having a personal relationship with them. So they move to set up their own, and then they take your clients along with them.
Good.
You see?
Yeah.
And all these are some of the problems. It's not that people are not willing to bring on board others to have a good succession plan, but some of these problems, some of these issues, you know, have led many people into, you know, doing their own business without.
See, I really want to address this question. About 4 weeks ago, I was right on this platform. I spoke about doing business in Ghana, all right, and I made mention of if the business that you are incorporating in the economy is not supposed to address a particular solution, I mean, trust me, you no longer go into that particular business in the first place. So if you are incorporating a business and you're finding difficulty, as you said, okay, bringing a successor or somebody that you believe in on board, in the first place, before you even think about the business plan, you must have thought about somebody who shares that basic ideas. You see, it's all about the ideas. You can develop the ideas with yourself, but somebody must have the same idea. So joining or bringing that person on board, okay, it's about the trustworthiness of the person. As you said, that person can go behind you and have the same business somewhere else. So about the, I mean, the
I think we
interpersonal-
need more time to discuss this. But before we go,
Definitely.
before we had press with time, but before we go, it's an election year, and being an election year is a year of uncertainty for most businesses. Now, for the SMEs, want to know what would you recommend or how say about planning for the year?
You see, we are at the peak of the election year, and uncertainties, taking into consideration the uncertainties are the results of of our election in this year. I mean, nobody can determine or come up with the government or the government strategy or policies you are going to run the 2017 year. So I really want to advise the SMEs out there. I mean, those already have these exposed entrepreneurs faces out there. Okay, basically, their main problem is that once you expose yourself out there, I mean, funding a particular political party A or political party B. Okay, like for instance, if I own a business, I'm funding a political party A because of many SMS do that in a form of an investment, because when I support or I fund a political party A and that political party come into power, I get all the contracts, I get all the business opportunities involved. But mind you, nobody can determine or predict the election results coming up in December.
But not all SMEs, can have affiliation with political parties to help them with their campaigning activities and stuff.
I tell you
to
what,
be able to win contracts when they
Good.
come. So let's talk on the general term.
So on the general term, I think on the general term, I really want to advise the SMEs out there to take key into consideration into saving. All right, because when you save more in this year by end of 2017, okay, the beginning of 2017, then you can start with your investment or the expansion growth of your business. Because before you can expand your business to growth, have economic or business growth of your business, you might have to think about the proceeds or external proceeds that you are receiving as a result of business operation. Okay. So you before the end of this year, just take key into consideration about the saving or investing. You can take, where we look at today about the treasury bills or the fixed deposits averaging 25%.
I really wish we had more time to discuss this issue, because I have a lot of questions for you. But
definitely,
we are hard pressed with time, so I believe that we'll set another day to continue with the discussion.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, Gabriel Yeboah, who is a business analyst with the Business and Financial Times.
Good morning. Good morning.